It's curtains. Better. Here we are, yet again. I am trying to crank out the last bits of Death Guard goodness before tomorrow. The Battle Force shows up, Codex shows up, and I have a new list of reasonably Death Guardy things to get underway with. I mean, tomorrow I'm gonna have so much building to do. It's gonna take a few streams, I think, to build through everything. It's a Plague Burst Crawler, it's a Myphitic Blight Hauler. It's got another Fetid Bloat Drone. I'm gonna work a little bit on tonight. I might actually knock this guy out and be done. I think I should. I think I just got to get his base. 7 more Plague Marines. A Pox Dude, basically the new character. Hey, what's up, Miati? 7 Plague Marines, Blight Lords, and maybe one other dude. I'm gonna have a lot to work on. So I'm excited for that. So I want to get like as much of the work in progress stuff done as I can. I am also tomorrow going to hit the post office before I go to the game store. So, folks that are still waiting on dice, like Miati, I think, are you still waiting on dice? I feel like I've neglected you terribly. I'll go through the list of stuff, send things out. That typhus finally finds its way to Sectorix. I got a postcard to send out. I got all kinds of stuff to do. I'm trying to clear the slate tomorrow. And then Sunday's Mother's Day. Mother's Day, which is pretty rad. So what to do first? What to do first? Pull this guy over. Yeah, I do. All right. So yeah, that's from like 8 million years. It's like 4 months ago. But my act is somewhat more together now, so I'm gonna start clearing that stuff out. Get back on the horse. Operate this channel like a mature adult. We'll see. Rack White. At least I didn't totally forget. But yeah, 4 months is a pretty atrociously long time to owe someone stuff for points. But you know, we had a bit of a dip in terms of activity for a while. Not that that excuses anything. Oh yeah, that's thick. Woohoo. Thankfully, this thing's going to get washed to all heck. So the dip's not too bad. This is like super. I should have remembered that this is actually a white. But I'm going to do. I'm actually going to need a smaller guy as well to sneak into a couple spots here. So I'm going to hit this guy with a mix of a few different things. Probably go pretty. Probably going to avoid green. Just make this guy dripping rust. So this guy's like, you know, he's in relatively unfantastic shape. Like he's painted and he's grimed up, but like this guy is absolutely rescue model. But he's a lot of the work that I've done on him is just like A, clean him up, B, also just like get him put back together in a way that I feel pretty confident he'll stick around, which is good. I don't think I'm going to have to put an additional support on him because he's gotten a couple layers of stuff down here to stick him, and he's got a little bit of bend to him, so that's good. So I'd like to just kind of put this guy to bed. I have two of them now with spitters on them. It's not even my primary. Hey, Sectrix. And I've got another one of these right around the corner. So, let's keep him moving. So what I think I'm going to do is the first wash I'm going to use on him. I need to create some queue space over here. There we go. Pull my. These guys are dry too. Sweet. Oof. Sorry, sorcerer. I'm going to hit him with something pretty dark in the first pass, which is probably going to be Ye Old Classic. Bust out the Agrax. I probably don't need this dish. Maybe I need this dish. I might have to water it down a little bit. I'm not going to water it down. I'll just be indecisive. Oh, yeah, that's the good stuff. I think I might have already thinned this a tiny bit. Brush suffers, continues to suffer. I feel like I used lacquer with it at one point. Yeah, tomorrow, pretty exciting day. I'm super hyped for the Battle Force Vector something, whatever it is called. Hawk's Rot Vector. Get a new Death Guard model, which is fantastic. Take it. I love the model too. The sculpt is almost got like a anime thing going on with the crazy sword size and hose. I've wanted more Blightlord Terminators even before they were cool. So that knocks that off the list, and they're pretty darn cool now. 7 more Plague Marines, absolutely cool. Happy to have them. Man, another Plague Burst Crawler. Another one of these guys. And another Myphitic Blight Hauler. That is good times. Check over here, make sure it's still not sitting any other weird pieces. No. It is Death Guard Summer. Mortarrance had his wing fixed. He's ready to rock. How many Plague Marines do I have? Honestly, I hope they announce the 1,000 Suns box soon. I'm kind of getting annoyed. Yeah, I can imagine. So I have 7 sitting next to me, plus Gurg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sitting next to me right now. Just checking to see that I don't have any absent ones sitting over here. None of you guys are Plague Marines, and I think I have 14. I think I have 14 out in the ban. So 22. Nurgle's Barn, indeed. Indeed. You know what? Probably going to do the same treatment on these other lads. I'm going to keep these guys simple. Speaking of lads, I'll go back to the well with this rack white. I actually like it. And I actually like that I laid it on that heavy because there's a lot of contrast. No, so I have 7 here plus Gurg the Foul, who's like an 8th, and then 14 outside. Gurg is like one of the name dudes that Auditor actually sent me the sculpt for. Yeah. Gurg the Foul. All these guys off and then put them on here as I complete them. But there might be a couple more to be on TBH. Actually, there probably is. I'm probably closer to 26 or 27 at this point because I did have a couple extra ones. I think I have four already um, of the heroes. But that gives me a good spread. Oh my god, they're so good now. They're so good now. Um, and so there's that, and they mark things that they hit. They mark one unit that they hit with afflicted, and they got like plenty of weapons that are like 24-inch range. So having a shooty Death Guard Plague Marine unit, not a bad call. And with toughness 6, man, you can wade in. Like I think what I'm probably gonna do is run 3 units of Marines, varying sizes, but have one of them with the Lord of Poxes because he basically like stealths them. You can't shoot him unless they're closer than 18 inches. And he, for his size, he slaps pretty hard in melee. I think I'm just going to put almost all melee. I don't think he can completely melee, but an almost all melee crew together with him. Sometimes the other thing I want to try out with him leading is like I could put a firing line in back, and just let him like guard my home objective, and no one can shoot back unless they get within 18, and that's like, ugh. So they get no snipey units for sure. Um, as far as range goes, the Plague Burst Crawler is very high on the list of anything that has range with them. But like over here, one of these, Wahapedia. Yeah, let's talk some rules. All right, widen this thing out. Wish they had obliterators. Let's see. Factions. Death Guard. Oh no, I don't. Don't know. Thank you. Why are you giving me a mastodon? Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. Close this. Oh my god, Wikipedia. Plague Marine's hidden. So Plague Marines cap out at 24, but they have plenty of weapons that go 24. The Plague Burst Crawler is indirect fire, so that's anywhere. It also has ectoplasmic whatever that gun is called. Good lord, wow, Petey, you're killing me, buddy. You're doing it on purpose too. You can shoot pretty far with a Hellbrute. The Blight Lord Terminators go out to 36 with a Reaper autocannon. So it's not they're not like had mech or Necrons or whatever that have like super ranged infantry, but like 24 is reasonable enough. And 24 with lethal hits, pretty gnarly. Um, the Lord of Virulence now like marks stuff up to 30. There is a detachment where you can affect guys, afflict guys for free, which is kind of nice. What does the Fetid Bloat Drone have on it for? So if you take the heavy blight launcher version of the Fetid Bloat Drone, which I'm probably going to build one of those, that's range 36. That's very much like, and this is its old data sheet. On its new data sheet, you know what? Why don't I just bring that up? It's probably easier to read. Do-do-do-do. Bear in mind that Terminators are toughness 7 now as well. Fetid Bloat Drone with heavy blight launcher. Yeah, that's like D6 plus 2 attacks, 10 strength, AP2, damage 3 at 30. And a lot of times you're going to use that to just like mark a unit. There's a lot more interplay with like afflicting a unit, and then you don't really cash it out, but like leveraging that. Hellbrood's got, I mean, if you went with the twin auto cannon, they have several things that go 48, and at least 2 that go 36. But they're definitely not rangy by any stretch. But if you can't shoot them at, if there's one unit sitting on home base that can shoot 24, that at least is like midfield shooting. And you kind of just need to keep like a toehold on your home objective. You can span out a little bit more because you've got 6 inches of range over anyone who's trying to make you sad. Is my multi-stream thing going? Yeah, it should be over here. Should be on this stream chat instead. And that's just one unit for funsies. I'll either take them in pretty heavy melee or use them to defend. I have a sorcerer now, so between him and Typhus, like I can have 2 guys running around dropping Psyker BS. 3 if you include Mortarion. Mortarion is dope now. He just hands out mortals for funsies. He lost a lot of his old stuff, but it was kind of like a pain. It was a lot of tracking stuff from Mortarion. You're like, I picked this thing, it does this, and now it's like you can pick one thing, but it's like immediate action. It shoots back, fights back. Boo! Death Guard is my wife's army. Yeah, well, your wife's gonna have a much better army tomorrow. So good. It's such a good day. Such a good day to be wearing flies. I'll be able to drop some crazy poxwalkers with infiltrate. Very, very excited about that. I'm up to 50 of them now. Not quite all that I need, but we're getting there. But Light Lord Terminators. Oh, everybody was sleeping on them before. Not going to now. Toughness 7. Blistering Fusillade. If this unit has a starting strength of 5 or more, or if character is leading the unit, which it's going to be doing. Blah, blah, blah. If it makes a ranged attack that targets an afflicted unit, improve the strength and AP characteristics of that attack by 1. That is wild. Basically, if someone's in contagion range or has been afflicted in some other way, and they shoot them, +1 strength and AP. Very, very nice, very on theme, and very much about that, like, the order in which you do stuff matters. So you may have something like a bloat drone just floating around, partying, making sure you hit someone to sort of pre-afflict them so that other guys can shoot at them, do well. Hey, what's up, Sharp? I think lore-wise Death Guard are cool, but then again, I think all the Legions are cool, especially the Chaos ones. Still can't get past the aesthetic of route and such. Yeah, I love all the Chaos, but the aesthetics for me are like, honestly, 9/10 of the battle. I like spooky, rotting Halloween. Apparently more than I like sexy Halloween or angry Halloween. I guess that little thing can keep sticking up there. It's all a matter of which Halloween you prefer. Little blotches on his boot. Which flavor? I should probably close that. I am going to pick up some Corax White tomorrow. Been without it for quite some time. I need to be reminded of how horrific it is. And I need to taunt Sectrix a little bit to keep him on his toes. I was looking at my calendar, so I got the notice from my local shop on their Discord that like, hey, everything's going to be available on Saturday if you pre-ordered it. I was looking at my calendar, and apparently Mother's Day in Mexico is tomorrow, and so like it says Mother's Day on Saturday, and I was like, did they change it from Sunday? I didn't see the little Mexican flag there. I was like, oh man, that sucks. I'm gonna have to like wait till next week to go pick my stuff up, or like, I don't know, maybe during the week try to find time to go get it. And then I realized that no, tomorrow is not Mother's Day. Sunday actually is. I'm safe. I can get my hands on all my stuff. Start building. But like Death Guard have not become like a shooty army per se. But they always kind of needed it because like to get your guys to wade in, kind of have to offer some fire support. They the Plague Burst Crawler is pretty awesome. I actually like it a lot in its new form, even though it's like lowest amount it can hit. Its lowest to hit is 4. Like that's still fine. What does that dude do? Where are you, LOV? Updated the Lord of Violence. Models in the unit can reroll wound rolls, and then you can select an enemy unit within 30 inches invisible to this model. To the end of the phase, each time a friendly Death Guard model makes a ranged attack that targets that unit, reroll a hit of 1. If it's done with a blast attack, it's reroll hits. Basically, he can now, in what I consider a better fictional way, spot a target. You can see it. You put him in a really good spot where you can eyeball. The 30 inches is not short. Anyone else who fires on it, especially with blast, which gotta tell you, the Plague Burst Crawler does that. Several Death Guard weapons do that. Rerolling hits. Oof. That's gonna be fun. So you just put him in some annoying spot with some Blight Lords. I mean, the thing is, like, it was possible. I don't think it was wise, but what the hell do I know? Like, some people are like, well, you just kind of like ignore Blight Lord Terminators and just like, whatever. And now you really can't. Like, when they're getting their strength and AP kicked up, that's phenomenal. And if they're led by the Lord of Violence, he's just like spotting for your long range stuff. But I mean, like it is with everyone. I mean, obviously there's like plenty of haters whenever a codex comes out because it doesn't do enough. But the Death Guard one is pretty universally like, yeah, it's pretty cool. And yeah, I'll put Death Guard together right now. Good. At the very least, the Death Guard Codex, from what's been leaked, like it's fun stuff. It's interesting. It's on theme. And I think that's the most important part is that like, all right, who knows just how well it'll play out? I mean, some of their units now like are pretty freaking strong, but if you remember at the top of 10th edition, uh, like all hell broke loose because it just didn't have disgustingly resilient as this like very easily accessible, very potent ability. And it's like, yeah, but in reality, like a little extra toughness goes a long way in this game. And like solving it that way is like that's one of the biggest things that people are going like, ooh, Death Guard trouble is you know, a lot of their units got +1 toughness, which is pretty simple way to solve wanting the army to be tough, wanting it to wade through a bunch of punishment on the way to smushing people. Lo and behold, simple number change is not too shabby. And people are psyched about it. Gives them something kind of unique. Yeah, it really is centerfolded. Like it is exactly like the kind of thing you want out of a codex. It's like each army's thematic, feels good. There's a lot of good stories in it. Like I don't mean like narrative story. I mean like, yeah, there's finally like a legit Poxwalker army. And needing 120 Poxwalkers is like I think technically inaccurate because you really need 150. Both of the new combat patrols are awesome too. I think so. I definitely think so. The Death Guard one is like another one is just like yeesh, you know, a specialty unit, uh, uh, blah, 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 blah. It's a Space Marine unit, and a transport is like a little bit of character action in there. Battle line is the word that I was mumbling over. Your battle line, a specialty unit, especially Terminators. The transport's like a pretty solid kit, and like Death Shroud are kind of nasty. And their movement's now 5. It's a 20% increase and 25% increase in speed. It was pretty rough when they were 4. Yeah, Death Shroud are just dirty. So I believe they always had Deep Strike. I'm nearly certain because they are Terminators. But let's see. Death Shroud, Death Shroud. Yeah, faster zombies. Where am I looking? No, other Death Shroud Terminators. They always had Deep Strike. Now they have Deep Strike at 9 inches and still no 6 inches, excuse me, and still charge. Um, if where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Death Shroud, Death Shroud, Death Shroud. I want to make sure I get quote this right. There we are. Each time a unit is set up in the battlefield using Deep Strike, it can be set up anywhere in the battlefield that is more than 6 inches horizontally away um, from any afflicted unit, and they can still charge after that. So, like 6 inch charge, pretty freaking reasonable. But once again, like you have to get afflicted on someone. So if you're going to use it deep, you need someone to be firing into the crowd of deep units. Though I guess like you could also do the sort of trick where like you get in Deep Strike with Death Shroud and you don't really, you know, you don't have the 6 inch charge, but you got someone back, or you infiltrate with Poxwalkers to be close, get them moved up, and just have them spread affliction with just their contagion aura. There's some fun stuff. I don't think that they're like I don't think that they broke them. I think a lot of people are going to want to play Death Guard. I think we're going to find out like just how potent or not it is. But they do. There's some changes in there that are just like, okay, this is a potency upgrade. These guys are probably going to get some green on them though. These bases, not the guys themselves. Try to clean this brush, this wash brush, man. It's getting smaller and smaller. That's only because the base of it is getting more and more firmed up. Getting a lot of mileage out of it, though. Thing's been with me for quite some time. I think you're already on the table. Flash, no. Is there a green pot out here somewhere? Do my eyes deceive me? Maybe it isn't out here. Let's go with Militarum green. Shaky, shaky. This is contrast, but I'm using it. It's basically thinned out a bit because of wet wash already on there. I am going to do the smart thing and pull this stuff out to its own little dish. Surprised that I bought the Codex? Why is that? It's got pretty pictures. It's the only item they make that I feel is unfair. Unfair how? I don't feel judged at all. I think it's great to buy the Codex. Um, yeah, I guess that's like, I guess that's true somewhat. I mean, honestly, like, here's the thing for me, and it's just my opinion on it, is that like, I buy the book because it tends to have a certain amount of pretty pictures um and some lore stuff in there. Like, there tends to be additional value of it, just like as a coffee table book and a historical piece. But like, I rarely play with. Sometimes I do buy the cards. I definitely have the old Death Guard cards that came out with 10th at the top. But it allows you to use the all the new rules in the app as well, and that's like a convenience. But like, honestly, I buy the Codex just because like it's kind of a cool book. Like, I don't for me, it is not the thing that I rely upon play the game. I mean, sometimes I'll like put it next to me and sort of have a page open with like some of the like the detachment enhancements. I might just leave that page open because it's kind of like conducive to it if it's still, you know, accurate. But a lot of times it's just I mean, you know, it's a pretty book, and then when I put my armies together in the Warhammer app, I have all those rules. But I do see your point. It does walk a weird line of like, just how valuable is it if it's going to go away nearly immediately? There's a point there, Sectors. I don't disagree with you, but like the AdMech one is like absolutely like super happy I bought that. It was absolutely stellar. It's just pretty. But I think they're coffee table books and historical fiddly things. What's interesting also is segue, is that the new codex. So you know the Christmas detachments that came out. Well, the Death Guard one was like it was good but mediocre because it lost the whole aura thing. They cooked all the like I have a plague, I have a dream plague into the core rules, into the army rules, and so now the fly blown host has that on top of what it had, which was like giving all the infantry. It's like a 5-inch scout, something like that, and stealth. So it's actually going to be like I think it's going to be a pretty cool detachment to play. All right, I'm gonna put these boys back in front of the fan. Are they coming out with another legit coffee table book? Because I have the Ultimate Guide. This is a dope book. They got another one coming. Oh, about characters. Fah. Ugh. Never ends. I'm probably not. I probably shouldn't get that one. All right. This lovely thing is going to get, I think, basically just rust glop. Which means I can clean this thing off. That sounds like a lot of fun. I'll probably have to get it. The graphics and video games one I will not get. That sounds like work. Unless they give me the actual files, then I'm down. And the rights to use them. Rust, rust, rust. This is the only one I got. Maybe the other one's a wash. Oh my gosh, that is. Oh, that's supposed to be like uber typhus corrosion stuff. All right. Now I get it. How grimy that thing is. Ugh. Ugh. Pools of rusty juice. Maybe some of this crap added in because it's here. Sure, let's just stir this turd right in there. Corrosive rust. Give it a little bit more body than the wash itself. It's just dragging along rust. I probably need some of the clear stuff again, though. The full mix is a little thick. A couple little droplets here and there. I say this is not my finest work, but I'm pretty proud of it. As far as being a rescue and a lot of challenges with just how the thing is constructed. He's not a little bit of a bench player, but he's pretty cool. All right, that is good. You clean? You're as clean as you're going to be anytime soon, buddy. That's what you are. I'm going to let him soak in some isopropyl. Put this out in front of the fan. When this guy and the other plague marines dry a bit, I can hit the edge of the base and claim victory. And yet, there are more models. I think I am going to do the entire battle force in like a new scheme, which may or may not involve Corax White. I'm tempted. I've seen a couple really, really, really good Death Guard schemes that are like the basis of which is like absolutely or near white, and I'm like, kind of want that. I've got a battle force that I can just sort of have like be its own war band. We'll see. We'll see what inspiration strikes me. Or doesn't. Never know. Never know. I own 0 30K Death Guard. But I have done a lot of my Death Guard. I mean, even this Typhus is like cream or bone and not green. He gets a little, he gets, well, I was going to say a little bit of wash. He got dunked. But I like the lighter schemes. Sadly, I don't get to keep that Typhus, but, and like, I sort of also started dipping into that territory with this Hellbrute. Death Guard Hellbrute with a very sad lawn gnome. I gotta varnish this guy. I might be doing some varnishing tonight. I like it. I like it a lot. All right, I think I got all my metallics done on this guy. Think. Not all, then most. Most of what I got to work on this dude. A little bit of touch up, and I got it. That Nurgling is like a piece of garbage right now. He's got no love. It's the perfect subject to work on. Soak that. Soak that. But no matter what, with this box, like I got so much building to do, and I think I'm just going to build the whole box so that I got everything out here and I can sort of keep them as reference to each other. Stash those there for now. Just let them stay soaked. Just work my way through it. All right. So with my metallics in good order, mostly, I do need a wax brush just to be safe. I know I'm going to spot something that I need to hit. 1K more points, I can get a mug. It's getting close. Yeah, 1K more points and like 8 months of me meandering about. I see a tiny little spot on here that needs some gunmetal. Look at me resurrecting this wax from the days of old. Age of Myth. I might have to pull the mugs down soon. I might have to actually turn that off. I'm not sure how mugged out I am anymore. I am going to need, sadly, a little dab of straight gunmetal juice. I have to do a new run of mugs. Certainly put your time in. That is for sure. Just a couple little components in here that I want to get. It's got a little spinneroonie. I got most of it. Yeah, most of what I got to get on this guy right now. Another little tube that I missed. Are fleshy bits, which is good. I've got that Nurgling. He's got some tentacles that I haven't hit yet. Almost dunked my wax brush in water. That would be terrible. Don't do it. Don't do it. While I'm at it, I'm actually just going to clean out this dish. Start anew. It's been nobly doing its job for quite some time. And it needs a new lease on life. A little bit. Damn Saul. Fresh from the tap. Something at least a little bit scrubby. Not exactly good as new, but good enough. Pour some out for my homies. Back in the oil and wax business. I shouldn't need that much. What do I need to do with this miserable little nerdling? He's going to need some sepia. Maybe sepia. Maybe skeleton horde. I am going to contrast him up a little bit. Some Chilliman flesh. These guys want more dip. Isopropyl. I might actually need more isopropyl because this is like, I'm putting brushes through combat duty tonight. Everybody's getting hurt. It's like rapid fire. All right, Chilliman McGilliman. Let's get you a brush we can use safely. This is not the only thing we're going to do to this guy, but it'll at least start bringing up some of his wrinkles and folds, as I need to do. Could have thinned this, but I think it'll be good. I think he's going to get a wash that's going to give him some more bright color after this. I want to get this in here now. If I put it on relatively thin, it's just going to give you like a little thin as I glom more on. It's going to give him some texture. And then I can work out some other details on the model. And then if it dries enough, I can hit him with something like Magos purple or a blue. Maybe I'll do him like a dark, bruisey blue-purple. I'm just going to work this stuff around a little bit just so it gets into all the little spots. Not sure this guy's on the... Yeah, I think he's on the right size base. He might not be. Some of these guys are definitely... Hey, what's up, Shiny Mew? Some of these guys are definitely that I got rescued are not on the right size base. I think there's going to either be me cutting them off at the feet underneath or a session of put base on top of other base, which I'm not fond of, but gets the job done. Yeah, let's go skeleton horn on this. Let's do it. Get that horn looking nice and coffee stained. Just keep it moving. State of grace. All right. Where did I say I was going? Tentacles are what I had. Tentacles. So what I probably need to do is get something fleshy underneath, or at least light, so that some of the stuff will stick out strongly. I probably don't need that brush anymore. It's got one right above, like right at his tailbone. Did find another little pipe that I need to fix up. Dab. How you doing, Shiny Mew? Purple, 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 purple. Purple, purple, purple. I'm gonna do Gene Stealer purple. Just boned your show and tell section. Sweet. Check that out before I crack this bad boy open. This open. Bombs, bones, same business. Yeah, so we saw this last time. It was a cute little model. Absolute little baller. But like, even with the hair up, barely reaches half the height of the Viejo bottle. Yeah, this is the model you were talking about before. This is pretty rad. Pretty rad. Primed up. Down with the thickness. That's a sister, all right. Oh, this one looks very new. What is? Should I recognize this? It looks exceedingly familiar to me, or it's just like some dope elemental. Ah, Gengar. Yeah. Nice. Sweet. I dig it. I dig it. Oh, geez. And because the music didn't go off, thanks for the raid, buddy. It's absolutely silent. Ugh. I might have to go away from Streamlabs. It's so painfully inconsistent. Oh, Photopalooza. This paint is not mixed. All right, real quick, I'm just gonna get some ceramic balls. Chuck them in here so this thing's got some amount of agitation going. It is a pretty nice purple though. Genestealer purple is like pretty sweet. Steal your jeans. Yeah, now I hear the rattling. Not much though. Man, this stuff is thick on the bottom. All right, let's check this thing before we wreck this thing. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Look at this. That is limey. Man, that is a pretty like cute, simple kit. This guy does not look suitable to fight against Death Guard, but I'm sure he's doing his part. It's adorable. It is a very like crisp. I mean, I keep wanting to say it's little, but seeing as that's like the rhino back there, I don't think he's actually that little. Gundam is strangely, in some ways, more civilized. Some stuff I've read is like brutally hard to build, but a lot of it isn't. I think they may have gotten harder over time. Also, yeah, I would actually love a if you could pull that thing out back there and put them side by side. That would be like mega helpful. This may be my new base tentacle color. Paint a couple lines while I'm present. Get a little dab of water on here just to get the brush moving. A little scoop. Oh yeah, that's a great tentacle color. I could definitely go with like anything from like light blue, dark blue, to like crimson, to pink. This I think is my new baseline tentacle color. What is it? It's not Phoenician. It's Genestealer. It's just like a good middle of the road, not too light, not too dark purple. sitting on for quite some time. I think it's the first time I've cracked it open. Peek over my shoulder every couple seconds. Just make sure this guy isn't harboring any more. He's got some foot bloat. Goiters, maybe. Hit those with a little bit of purple. He's got a condition. Don't hit the bell. Don't do it. And this guy's still going to get a wee bit of a washing. I don't want to go too nuts. Like this only needs to handle part of the coverage and coloration. Yeah, this other foot is jacked. Boot. A little bit club footy. Is that boot? I can't even tell. I don't even know what the sculpt's supposed to be. It's all good. Sometimes it's foot. Sometimes it's mutated foot. Little bits of it are boot. That is a tiny little decorative piece of tentacle holding that bell. Isn't that cute? More obtuse growth over here. Yeah, let's see. Make sure I give this brush a quick swizzle. Because, man, I'm layer paints. Good times. Yeah, that's better. There we go. Scientist. Pure science right here. Yeah, that thing's not tiny. I like how you brought in things that I should intimately know the scale of. That's a big lad. He can take on Mortarion. Till tomorrow. And then tomorrow, no moss. I'm so happy that they cut Mortarion's like can't modify or keeps rolls unmodified rule. Like, ugh. It's just like so much overhead. Didn't really I mean, like, did it have power? Yeah. Was it that cool? Not really. Like, really not really. Now he just hands out schlaps, mortals. How long did it take to put this thing together, Patrick? It's so wild to me that, like, it's not crazy, but like the fact they just are all like, yeah, I got different colored plastics. How novel. Start at 7 p.m. Jeez, yeah. Okay, that's a nice swift build. Thread the needle a little bit on this, which I don't like to do, but it's life. Sometimes some of the bits are hidden. Just be careful not to hit your other work. Go nice and slow. Yeah, that's good. All right, I'm going to find maybe burgundy? Sigvald burgundy? Pull out the Doomfire magenta in case things need to get super spicy, but I think I want Sigvald burgundy. Yeah, that stuff is wild. Add this to my tentacles. Oh, that's mad thick. I should probably thin it out. It kind of looks with purple in the background. Kind of looks nice. Maybe I'll just roll with it. Pretty strong stuff. There's a rich purple. Maybe it's just right. I'll let it dry in there and cure a wee bit. That is strong. Bring the ruckus. But with that light purple underneath, man, that is potent. Yep, you hit the bell, buddy. Don't do it. It was a refreshing change. Yeah. Terrain month was a marathon. Not a race. Or not a sprint, excuse me. Marathon's still a race with a dummy. I can imagine there's a lot of like, breath of fresh air. Or Battletech or Marvel Crisis Protocol. Yeah, and the thing is, like, you're getting a good solid amount of experience with both and like getting super creative with them. Like your BattleTech shelving at this point must just be laden. And Crisis Protocol, like, you didn't start that all that long ago, and you're already like pretty deep. I dig it. But all of that will push back your airborne. It's your call. It's your call. You got all that airborne to paint. You're in a good spot. Yeah, nothing dies the water like Sigvald Burgundy. It's crazy. What am I gonna do for this Nurgling? Let's make him bright. I have about 90 painted BattleTech models and 23 Marvel Crisis Protocol. Yeah. Wait, both of them? I thought you were BattleTech like back in the day and getting back into it. I didn't realize. Wow. All right. That's dope. All right, little Nurgling, you're going to get bright. Let's do this. Oh, yeah. Look at you, lad. Doomfire magenta. over some pretty dull colors. Looking hot. Some spicy nerdling. Oh yeah, it's gonna be dangerous over there. Danger. Get up to this branch. Danger, danger. Sneak back up there and hit his little claw fingers. Just a dab. Can't tell if I actually hit that or not. Gunpla was only about 5 or 6 months ago. Time flies. Time doth fly. Oh yeah, you're just like, this guy's cooking. Fire magenta equals no joke, even over some pretty dulled out Bugman's Glow. It's Gilliman flesh over it. This thing is popping. Get the Undercroft. Got into Battletech during the Skaventide build. I think I probably ignored anything that was really heavily Battletech when you were in the Skaventide zone. I just wanted to see rats. Interesting. Some Badger lore. All right. Guessing Doomfire Magenta's probably going to rock this water too. Oh yeah, it's good stuff. Talked about it during the first few streams. Then I found some things to put. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Time does fly, man. Absolutely just flies. I don't know. I think you also, like, when you stream, you have a put this, like, a whimsical level of comfort with stuff that's even new to you that makes it seem like you've been doing it for a while. All right, that guy's got to chill out for a minute. Got to just, like, hang tough. This guy, I need to get his guts going. How do we want to do that? Guts. Not a bad and black. Gotta have a wash that's good for that. Something. I don't want skin shade. I don't want dark red tone. Do I want red tone? Let's try some red tone. Take care, Miyati. Have a good time at work. And we'll see you again soon. And reminder, I am going to the post office tomorrow morning. So I'll send you a tracking notice. Finally get your stuff that I've owed you since the dawn of time. Yeah, I think for me, Badger, when I'm watching you work, it's like yeah, that's a good color. A lot of it is just like Like it's not bravado. It's just like it just seems like whatever model you're painting, you're like in a good spot. It always seems like it's not the first time you painted anything that you're painting. I guess that's what I'm getting at. Which like I know for most of the stuff you're painting, it's the first time you're painting that model. Which is cool. It's what I like about your streams. Like I'm not saying you don't get surprised by stuff, but the general tenor of it whimsically comfortable. All right. Is this enough coloration for guts? Probably not. You're gonna have to mix a little something else. Give like a dab of blue on the intestines, maybe. That's not blue. The microphone is in front of me. I grabbed soft tone. I might still need that drop. I want to get good at guts. I'm pretty happy with the way the guts turned out on my Beast of Nurgle. Just need to continue painting guts. All right, that's soft tone. That can go up here a little bit. Yeah, so that'll like give a little bit of a yellow brown, and I do want it to blend. I'm gonna let it do its thing. Nice and damp. And that intestinal bit there. Grab some blue. I can actually hit this big one over here too. Now we got 3 different washes on there. Everybody's happy. At least all the different parts of his guts seem to be happy. He's totally damp, and I can set him aside to just chill out now. Brings us, set you there. Do I have anything else hiding behind there? But there are Plague Marines back there. That's cool though. That there. I could probably grab me some Gurg. Is this the only handle I have left? It might be, but it's Gurg sized. All right, Gurg. We got a lot we got to do to Gurg. Where to start? Okay, we'll just start pulling out paint. Use pale sand on these bones, the horn coming out of his head, and the skull. That thing coming out of there, and any other little bits. Gurg. Gurg is the word. Back in the brush cup with you, lad. Back to my old trusty number 1. Yep, still in okay shape. Little tiny amount of water on the palette, not a ton. Get these skulls going. I'm actually probably going to add a significant amount more water just so that this sort of soaks into some of these recessed spots a little bit thinly. Maybe not. Maybe. here will thin out a little bit. Load the brush up. Put a couple little dabs in to sort of carry stuff around. Just so that I'm getting decent coverage. I'm not too worried about hitting the trim on this because it's gray right now. So I'm not absolutely like filling in every last bit of this, but I want the whites to stand out. I don't have to force it. But I don't want to rely on a singular super thin coat. This will get all stained up. Intentionally so. But that pauldron needs to pop out. We got a horn. Maybe a little thicker. Maybe. Sneak in and get a couple teeth. Big smile. While I'm there with the brush, better than starting from gray. Got this other Nurglin. Teeth popping. This little nub of a horn popping. Oh, it's going to be a little complex. Get a better tip on this thing. Well, you don't think too much about it. Gurg, you so crazy. It's thin. It's all right. We'll come back to it, hit it a second time. But it's important. Because this guy's hanging off of it. Gurg, gurg. Once again, we're painting between demon toes. Like we always end up back in the same place. All right, I got the skull on top. Load this guy up. Clean him up. And I'm probably going to hit Greg's head along with his horn. Got a lot more stuff to do to Greg's head than to do his horn or the skull or anything, but starting from sort of a pale sand color, I think it's going to make my life a little easier whenever I get to that step. I think he's kind of bony. He's not one of those guys with a big fat, chunky heads. He's like teeth all over the place coming out. It's very skeletal. I feel like not a lot of sculpts capture with Death Guard is that you read the books and like they're not all bloated. Like some of them are absolutely just chilling out, emaciated in their big boy armor. This can be relatively thin. Just trying to overall lighten him up. Chill out, old man. There we go. Yeah, it can be pretty darn thin. It's got to be a little thicker on the spike coming out of his head. When I get to painting his head, I just don't want to start from gray. I want to start from pale. Got another skull back there. So it's tempting to basically treat him like a little bit like Skeletor and then just like add a little bit of flesh back into it. I might go with that. This skull is part of some chain hanging off of there. Greg, you're such a good sculpt. I love you, buddy. I am going to adopt a tiny brush just so that I can get in there and paint a wee bit without worrying about the thickness of the brush badonking a bunch of stuff around it. Grab a little water in here just to soften the thing. Don't need a ton of paint. Oh yeah, and I gotta thread the needle in there. Ooh. Remember how I said I love this sculpt? It does bite back. Thankfully, everything around here is gonna be thick metallics. I don't need to worry my little heart too much. Skull on the ground. And skull in this guy's hand. I need to thicken you up, though. I still continuously struggle with paint thickness. And this is going to be like 2 passes on all this stuff that isn't just like super thinned out and wash like, but still. I'm getting better with how much I thin, or more accurately, how much I don't thin my paints. I definitely come from the like, I over thinned them for a long time because everybody was so much saying thin your paints, thin your paints, thin your paints. And you do need to thin them. But the amount I was thinning them was like overdoing it. And it is right now still too. A couple coats makes a big difference. There's a skull. Those are bullets. Another skull. Another. Greg, you so foul. You so foul, baby. This cheekbone. All right, I'm going to let this chill out for a couple minutes. Have a couple sips of coffee. Think positively about what tomorrow brings. Whew. make sure that I haven't forgotten anything that needs one singular pass. But I don't think I have. He's got doodads and gewgaws. Not as many as some. Definitely not as much as the Lightbringer. He's drying up. Yeah, those skulls are dry. I'll give it a very brief continued count. Let him go a little longer. And I'll probably switch over to metallics on him. I should. Go back into wax territory again. Bronze, gunmetal, and brass. Oh my. This does not need to be as complete a pass. It's the second one. Stuff that's a little bit more raised. Get a little bit lighter, a little bit wider. Likewise, this can be pretty thin pass. Tiny brush again. Second verse, same as the first. Ground skulls. Brighten you up. Second pass. Did a pretty rotten job on this horn the first time. Yeesh. Gaps. I'm going to very gently, those little spikes on his back. All right, Gurg face. Decided you are going to be a little bit Skeletor-like. I think I can pass that up. It's going to be quite pale. I think it's going to look really cool. Best laid plans of mice and men. All right, that brush is okay. I can set this back here. And I can grab some bronze. have this other screen up over on this side as well. All right. Old bronze. Working with wax. I like old bronze a lot. A ton. Grab one of my synthetics. Couple of drops. Gamsol. Let's stir this crap up. Just try to get it thin enough so that there's no lumps. Like good gravy. Thick. But no chunky lumps. And then when you need it to fill in gaps a little bit more, you just add a little bit more Gamsol to the side of this and turn it into kind of, sort of a wash. Albeit not really. But still, kind of, sort of. I'm gonna actually, I think I'm gonna brass up that skull, so I'll just hit the edge and then the stuff around it with bronze. Trim. If I don't like how the skull looks brass, then I'll just go over it with bronze again and act like I never made that initial decision. Retcon it. I'll leave that green. It's okay like that. And not in a concession sort of way. I think it's actually going to look good next to the brass. There you go. Trim, trim, trim. Trim. Ugh. Okay. That's how I'm going to do this. I know I'm hitting the gunmetal second. So I'll just get close to that chain and not think too much about it. Bronze, bronze. Ah, more trim. Gurg, gurg, gurg. There we go. Bit by bit, grab a little more Gamsol in here and keep sending it up. Like, you can resurrect this stuff to the end of time, pretty much. Little by little. But it does dry out sitting in that dish, strangely enough. Over the top. That's over the top. All right. Is that good? Is that good? A little poke in there. Inside of the pauldron, which is always a little bit risky. Tell you right now, I miss having a hook on this handle. I have to post my pinky up somewhere new every brush stroke. Funny that. All right, let me get back here. Good. Good. It's getting mighty warm in here. Should tie my hair up. Let's do it. Let's do it. There's 2 Death Guard boxes dropping. One is a Battle Force. The other is New Combat Patrol. I have the Battle Force showing up tomorrow, which is 7 Plague Marines, the new Lord of Poxes, a Plague Burst Crawler, a Myphitic Blight Hauler, a Fetid Bloat Drone, and 5 Blight Lord Terminators. The Combat Patrol is a group of Death Shrouds, a Rhino, a group of Plague Marines, and a Tallyman, and I don't know, some weird hot dog salesman. I don't remember who the last guy in there is. Is a good Death Guard day. I'm excited. I haven't actually been into my local game shop in months. Is it the Other Lord? Yeah. Virulence? Well, Sectorix and I were surprised it wasn't the Lord of Contagion. Thought he was a shoo-in. It had been a while since they had released him. Though in the Codex, yeah, I do have a lot to paint. I have a lot to build come tomorrow. In the Codex, the Lord of Contagion is that that super smiley version. I wonder if that model's going to come back out. Like if they're hinting to it by having that version in the Codex, or just effing around. Whatever that guy is. Silly McGee in the Tainted Court. Marky Mark in the Funky Bunch. Your Death Shroud are so good. They're beautiful models. They slap things around pretty violently. 10 of 10 would Shroud again. It's a solid combat patrol. A very solid combat patrol. Like if I would have I've seen them square off against Vanguard. Yeah, they can lay it down. Like they hit hard. Um and I think their weapon skill got a little worse in the Codex, but they have more hits. And there's some other tweak to them, like so they're still pretty nasty. I think they're just going to hit less often, but they have more attacks now. But they have like scythe profile with like I believe they have a stabby and a sweepy on it, which is like kind of nice to have. Stabby and a sweepy. The GoPro. No, not that version. The new version. Oh, there we go. Just Route Terminators. Yeah, they have a strike and a sweep. Pretty dope. Like their strike is 4 attacks, strength 8, 2 AP, 2 damage, and their sweep 8 attacks, 4 strength, 1 They can sit in the. I mean, their save is 2-4. They got 4 wounds. They're 7 toughness now. Like they cross a very interesting line of like, ugh, that's kind of a problem. Dealing with them just being around. They're very bad men. And you put like a Lord of Contagion with them, and it's just. They are slow and lumbering, and they can absolutely be outmaneuvered. Like someone who's good at getting around the table has very, very little problem, should have very little problem with them. But if you deep strike them in somewhere and they stay put in a key position on the table, like they get stuck in. They get stuck in good. They like being stuck in. Typhus with them is gnarly. It's a very specific, like when you put Typhus with them, they become this other like weird threat because he's just like a solid leader no matter what. But then shooting off his psychic bolt shit at, pardon my French, at 18 on top of those guys is pretty gnarly. I always put Typhus with Poxwalkers because they're a good ablative shield. But that's just me. Typhus with 20 Poxwalkers is like absolutely gum up any part of the field, and like getting to Typhus with 20, even just 10 Poxwalkers is like a total pain in the butt. And his psychic attack counts to raise Poxwalkers back up. Which is pretty nice. Very nice. You definitely could not put 9 of them in there. I'm pretty sure they count as like 2 or 3 bad men. I think they each count as 2 bad men. Oh, you mean poxwalkers? Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. Well, poxwalkers have infiltrate now, so you're going to see a lot of that. Like the battlefield is going to start with uglies already in the mix. Which man, I am so for. That's what I used to use Nurglings for all the time, just to have some infiltrators out there spreading the good word, popping Nurgle before things get popping. And now it's just going to be my poxwalkers. Oh, Gerg, you so crazy and cute. Oh yeah, you are talking about the death routes. Yeah, they they are really good as a deep strike threat. It's interesting because I haven't always like sent them deep, but sometimes they're good to just have in reserves, and you sort of bait someone into deep striking you, and then you like it is a problem, but sometimes what they're really good for is just countering someone else's deep strike. And then you're like, well, crap, I'm not taking that. But they are, don't get me wrong, like they're absolutely fantastic to deep strike into the enemy back line. Absolutely phenomenal. The catch is that I mean their movement's going up to 5. But let me tell you, their movement's going up to 5, I think. Yeah, their move is going up to 5, which means before tomorrow, you deep strike with them, but they might not ever catch anything. Um, yeah, they are fatties. Their big weakness, and it was legit. If you're playing against someone who knows movement really well, is you can just outmaneuver them. You can. I'm not saying you always get to. I'm not saying there aren't ways for the Death Guard player to like do some pretty savvy placement of them, but you can't really be like off your range finding game. They are slow, and man, at 4 movements, they're so slow. One, two. I gotta get the top one over there. A little cam saw on here and just act like I didn't screw that up. All right, bronze, 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 bronze. Bronze. Bronze, bronze, bronze. More coverage over here. But I love them. The models themselves are absolutely gorgeous. Like they are the super stocky, super thick boy Death Guard. I love the Blightlord Terminators too. Their sculpts are fantastic. Glad. I mean, I always played them, but yeah, it is Now I look up. Yeah, it is absolutely the chunkiness slowing them down. But chunky's not the worst thing. I mean, the thing is, they're just like, they're very hard to chew through. And so it's not just that they can scythe their way through a lot of stuff. They have like solid weapon profiles. Just like, you have to commit too much. Yeah, they're absolutely, obviously I'm Death Guard biased, but they're absolutely good to have just to paint them. Like, they have really nice details on them. I'm going to switch over to brass now. And I won't need a ton of this, but I found that going with both brass and bronze gives you just like a little bit more space to pick up some special trinkets up. All right, brush. Let me grab a little game saw for this dish. 3 drops. That's a guess. But it's a good one. Metallic mud. That's what wax is. Clean this brush a little bit and start brassing. And obviously, or maybe not obviously, but definitely, I'm going to grime these guys up. Maybe not streaking grime, but they're going to get something in the black to Agrax shade territory at some point. So I'm not very worried about how super shiny this is, and that will darken up the bronze and make it like rich. But it'll also like knock the brass down a bit, depending on how you do it. You'd still have a little bit of shine go through. I'll sometimes go back and just like touch a few spots with some pure brass again, just so like a little bit shines through. But it will get knocked down quite a bit. Death Shroud have some. Oh yeah, I got a random Land Raider now for a good deal off. Friends too, some Nurgle. Okay, yeah, Crazy Tentacles. Yeah, no doubt. I actually washed again. This is the. Oh yeah, it's totally stuck. There we go. My 4-year-old painted this. I washed it to sort of make it street legal without adding too much more to it. But this is just like one fairly solid print that I got from somewhere. But yeah, tentacles on tanks is like the jam. But it is now street legal. It has enough paints on it. I probably put a little bit of dirt on the tracks just so it's got some basing material incorporated. But I'm super proud of that. The kid loved painting it. She's going nuts. She's like, "What color can I use?" I was like, "Use whatever color you want." It's a good time. Crazy Tentacles are awesome. There's just some absolutely wild looking Death Guard sculpts for tanks and transport stuff. Just like, all right. I was rapping about this the other night, but like I've seen one that is literally just like it's like an orifice straight through the thing. You know, like that's that. Like you see all the way through it. And it's a rhino. So like yeah, these guys are just gonna get pooped out, ready to fight. Birthed. Oh, I did hit that skull with some metallic. That's a little annoying, but not so annoying that I'm going to worry about it all that much. It's kind of my jam. Keep it light. I'll just have to go over it a little bit. I might be able to squeegee that off. Yeah, I've definitely I've seen and appreciated the thing. Yeah. So this is one of the nice things about going back and forth, like using wax metallics that you thin out with neutral spirit, with white spirit, Gamsol, and doing acrylic is like basically you could take that accidental metallic hit right off there because I'm using Gamsol to pull it up. The acrylic don't give a darn about that. And then sort of vice versa, I think that this stuff won't really care if I try to pull stuff once it's dry, of course. If I pull stuff off with isopropyl. It allows you to sort of tic-tac back and forth. And I notoriously have trouble going back and forth from like metallics to not and like undoing my work by accident with my lack of coordination. Kind of neat. Do you have any more trinkets? Almost tempted to, you know, I'm going to do that spike up here. I'm going to go over it in brass. Not completely. I'm going to mainly hit like the edges of it, but I'll just make it stick out a little bit more. And I may at some point. The other thing I do with brass and bronze, I'll do it right now, is like just hit the edges of a few things. I'm not going to do it for realsies right now, but when I finally get to the point that the model's getting close, sometimes like a little of this, my wax metallic game is improving because I've been using it quite a bit. Though I did order some other metallics, not that it's cheating. I did order some from Pro Acryl today, just because I saw some really cool stuff being done with them. There's like a magnesium. I got some other things in there. Not that I need paints, but I was in a shopping mood. But yeah, I have come quite a ways with wax metallics, and I do like them a lot. They paint, depending on how you choose to thin them out, they paint kind of like gel pens. Like it sneaks off the brush pretty nicely. You have a hefty amount of control over how thick it is. Your medium is your cleaner. That's always nice. And being able to go back and forth with them from acrylics, which wipe away pretty easy with isopropyl, and then metallics that wipe away pretty easy with Gamsol. It's nice. It is nice. I'm a little clumsy. I do still use Leadbelcher. In fact, it's on my list of things to buy tomorrow because I'm finally, and it's a big moment. I'm like at the bottom of my Leadbelcher. Leadbelcher is fantastic. It's one of the things I like to preserve is that like I do like certain things, but like liking one thing does not like obviate the use of other stuff. And I still do like Leadbelcher a lot. I still use it pretty regularly. Um, I don't always want to use wax metallics. Um, there are some cases where I'm like, all right, I just don't want to deal with any of that. Um, I still love Leadbelcher, and I'm going to buy more tomorrow. But I'm getting pretty good with wax. I still worry about the longevity of wax metallics, like if they get dinged up and scratched more readily than acrylic. I'm not sure. Tough. Only time will tell. That is one thing I do worry about, but I don't know. I'm just going to have my models around and drop them a lot and get oil from my hands on them a lot and see if, despite the varnish, they find on a lot of my painting now, I'm grabbing the magnesium over a lot of my other silver. Yeah. I mean, I saw one look at that magnesium and I was like, I need to get my hands on that. Like, it just seems like a very, very excellent tool to have in the belt. It just looks awesome. And at this point, like, I do, like, early on when I was painting, it was like I put a metallic on and then the entire model's getting a wash. And for something like that, finding a very close to exactly what you're looking for singular paint for that metallic is good. And it certainly saves time. And arguably, like, makes the, unless you're trying to do some wild stuff, it makes the model look nice and consistent. But if you're trying to do like several layers of different metallic things going on, you need kind of a repertoire of them. And that magnesium looks like a crazy good, like, first metallic to put down. Kind of, I mean, pretty much exactly like you did, of like, all right, this is what I started with, and I'm going to be doing other stuff to this. Like, the darkness of it, like, fills in gaps, especially you're going to dry brush over it, like, solid, very solid. I think I was also just in the purchasing mood. In for a penny, in for a pound. I do find the getting different stuff to be like a super fun part of the hobby. And yeah, it's rampant consumerism, and I agree that it's not 100% a good thing, but it's kind of nice. Yeah, I like things that start from a kind of weird place. It's what I love about Warplock Bronze. It's got this weird, like, coffee chocolate, not just brown color to it, but like it looks weird, like in the Lovecraftian weird sort of way. Like, this is an unnatural metal. Um, so starting from that position sounds like crazy good fun. It does not look normal. It does not look like metal from the prime material plane. It looks warpy. Warpy goodness. Sign me up. My posture's gone to garbage. Oh, sit up. Did you see that new knight kit that they described? It's like a super defensive. I don't know what the Loyalist version is called, but essentially my Knight Tyrant with a different weapon loadout, including the stuff on its back, and it's got some big old like ion shield thing. Oh man, I mean, I'm guessing there'll be a chaos version of it because they pretty much they come close to mirroring them. I can't wait to get my hands on that, and all I'll need to do, I mean, I'll have to buy the whole box again, but boo hoo. But to have my Tyrant be like even more defensible, right up my alley. And that is one of the few models that I've magnetized well. And so that conversion, both the arm weapons and the big shield on the back instead of either the missiles or the Geist Strike, I think that's what they are, or whatever guns go up there, I'll be able to trade those out easy. So here's the thing about Knights, and for that matter, a lot of big models, like there are a lot of geography, but you're still dealing with one singular thing. And I don't think that they actually, at least for me, maybe it's Knights specifically. I shouldn't be so broad. I don't think Knights take all that long unless, and I'm not saying you shouldn't do your little war dogs first. They're a fine appetizer. But Knights have like a lot of big panels on them and a lot of geography to cover. I think Knights would take me longer if I was doing Loyalist ones. I don't have any of my Knights out here, but like each one that I did, I had sort of a concept for. And as far as executing goes, most of the body under the plates was like a couple types of dry brushing and then some accent to it, which is all big brushwork. The panels count, but like my Nurgle Knight was like a bunch. It was like my first time using anything sort of like streaking, grimy. There's some rust on it. My Khorne dedicated Knight was like just blood everywhere. The Tzeentch one was a little bit more challenging. I was doing stuff with like stripes and airbrushing and whatever, but still, they're big pieces. I was doing stuff with, I think that was how I learned how to use Liquid Mask, all kinds of stuff like that. The last one, took a while, but still, it was like a lot of like single color panels, and the pieces are just bigger. Like for me, that's less intimidating than honestly like 7 Plague Marines. Like I can work through that process pretty quickly. I'm also very like inspired when it comes to Knights. Like for some reason, they just like make me giddy. So I tend to just like flow through that process a little easier than some other stuff. Obviously, Plague Marines make me supremely happy too. So they're sort of in that same boat. But if you've ever seen me paint a Knight, it's just like, it's kind of go, go, go. Ain't no looking back. But I still have another war dog to do as well. That little lad. They're so tiny. I don't think I've ever actually played with my war dog. I know my buddy Will has grabbed it and taken it for a spin when I went up against Knights on his side. I mean, I have big hands, bad eyes. Yeah, so if you get yourself a bottle, wow, this stuff is, look how separated that is. This stuff is really awesome. This Viejo liquid mask, and you can put it on whatever sort of, it's mixing up again. Whatever sort of layers, and I'll just leave that out there for a second. It's 28.850. Liquid mask. This stuff lasts you for a long time. And you get as many shots as you need to like paint it in. And you do need to paint it a little bit thicker than one might think, but you get that painted on there and like you're good to go. You just paint around like right up to it. Let everything dry, peel everything away, and you're like good. You're off to the races. Back to a regular brush and back to some purple. You can use putty. I find putty to be like a little too time consuming. Liquid mask, you brush it on. You gotta let it dry. You have to do some amount of prep with it, but once you do it, you're in a very, very good spot. Shield and Giant Spear, yeah, the Lancer. That lad flipping slaps. He is exactly like, as the old saying goes, like he does exactly what's on the box. I almost swore. Not that I have any problem with swearing, but I don't need to swear right there. There's no point. I just got excited. He that Lancer. Yeesh. When you drive in with that thing and pop somebody, like he's a huge map threat. That's basically what he is. Just like essentially tank shocks for free. So you drive him right up to someone, you charge right up to someone, tank shock. I don't even remember what Lance does. It's like extra. Do you reroll wounds on charge attacks? Something like that. Does a pile of damage. Absolutely oodles of it. Right, now I gotta look it up. So I'm excited. Cast Knights get me excited too. Night Lancer. Oh my god, wow, idiot. You're so good at what you do. Yeah, let's go to the tape. So his ranged weapon is like pretty garbage. It's not terrible. It's not as bad as it sounds, but like you really aren't going to use him ranged all that much. Remind myself what Lance does. Very made a charge move. Yeah, it's add one to the wound roll. That's good. So you charge in with him. You do tank shock for 0 CP, which is fantastic. I believe it's based off of toughness now. In fact, I can just mouse over. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, D6 equals to toughness for each 5 up. The thing suffers a mortal up to 6. But right out the gate, like you're doing mortals with it just for showing up. And you get 5 attacks, 2 weapon skill, 20 strength, 3 AP, 8 damage. Like you just like there are big toys on that board to absolutely likely wipe like that. There's a one-on-one fight, just surprise, bam, and its movement's 14. Yeesh. It's super fun, and it's like it's a mega threat. I used it on my buddy when he was playing Oryx, and I popped something. I think it was a Stompa. I just like boop, gone. I mean, it had taken a little bit of damage. It was a Stompa, but like went in, pow. I think I hit like 3 of the attacks. And then when I was playing against him, I don't remember what he came in and crushed with it, but it was devastating. Like the thing just walks up. It's not cheap. I mean, it's 420 points. but it's tight. Yeah, you charge at the biggest threat. But like 20 strength weapon, 3 AP, 8 damage, 5 attacks on that thing. And then if you sweep through it, it's like still pretty dope. I mean, it's 10 attacks, 10 strength, AP2 and 3 damage. It absolutely lances. Pimple Popper. He's tall. It is like tall and lanky. I was shocked. Like the Knight Tyrant is like big, beefy looking thing, and the Lancer is like solid, like 2 or 3 inches taller. Can't hide it. Can't hide it. Oh, is there a picture I can find that actually has them all on it next to each other? I should post that on the internet so that it's somewhere. A lot of people are just like size comparison to standard model. Let's see. Lancer size comparison. Come on, dog. All right. Well, this is that is a whatever Rampager ish. The kit that's either Rampager. Uh, it's like 3 kits you can build out of it. And he's just like, "Yep, I'm just like looming over you." I also built him with a spear. If you leave one of the shoulder plates out, so each shoulder, each pauldron is a plate on top of a plate. And if you leave the lower plate out on one side, you can actually have his arm up like this, like instead of like he's jousting. Yeah. I wish it. I don't know if you've ever seen mine, but like I did mine as like it's just like all gold chains with gold skulls hanging off of it. It's like pretty wild looking. But I've seen people do like they do like resin molds with like there's one where someone did resin molds with uh like ghost faces in it, all kinds of really cool stuff. I've seen it shrink wrapped so that it just looks like crazy warp stuff. Yeah, it's he's more posable than he looks. Like you can sort of see. Let me see if I can zoom this thing in. So like he's got every his shoulders aren't as round as the other knights, and he's got this is actually a separate piece. It's a long flat out uh, plate, and then this other shorter one. I just kept this longer one out of the mix, and it allowed me to just on this side have the arm raised up. It looks I don't know. I think it looks neat, but he needs an action pose. Um, in retrospect, he probably would have looked good on 1 foot sprinting. My I think my Knight Rampager, my corn one is like that. I think I got him in a little bit of a sprint. That guy gets always gets wrecked. I throw him out in front and he gets chopped up. It's all good. But yeah, even a new Chaos Knight on the horizon is pretty awesome. I think though, I have a long weekend ahead. It has been a long, though productive week. I think I'm gonna wrap it up for the night. Try to get some sleep. I slept terribly last night. Oh man, I accidentally went to bed way too early. I was gonna take a nap at 8, and then I was gonna stream last night. Took a nap, and then I didn't wake up till like 1 or 2 in the morning, and then I was up till like 5. And took another nap. But it's good. We got a lot of stuff done. We based the bloat drone. Did basing on Marines. We're pretty darn close on a Blightbringer. Some sorcerer work done. A little bit of work done on Gurg. And tomorrow in comes the big box, the new codex, and all that good stuff. So no lack of Death Guard ahead. Folks, I will catch you next time. Thanks a ton. Have a good night.